Hi, come on in. If you want to just take a seat right there. Great. Can I get you anything? Tea? Water? No? Okay, no worries. Just let me know. So, I'm just going to get up your file. Can I take a name? Alright. There you are. Okay. So, we're looking at a theft. I'm very sorry to hear that, but you've come to the right person. We'll get to the bottom of it, don't worry. So, do you mind if I just ask a few questions and verify some stuff before we start? Great. So, can I just check, how long a period of time did you see the perpetrator for? Okay. So, only a short period. That's pretty standard, don't worry. You can still figure it out from that. And how long now has it been since you saw them? Okay. So, just some general questions. Can you confirm for me again what they were wearing? Yeah? Okay, that matches up. Any accessories, identifying features, tattoos, jewelry, watch, hat, shoes, anything? Do you remember what it looked like? Okay. Perfect, that's very helpful. So, and also, can I just confirm, do you have a good guess at the gender? Yeah? Okay. Well, then I think we're all set to get started. So, let me just get my material. Okay. Alright, so this is a pretty simple process. I'm just going to ask questions and sketch as we go. And of course, I'll double check with you at the end that everything looks okay. And as we go, Okay. So, let's start with the basics. We're just going for face here. So, I remember you mentioned, well, it says in your file, that you got a pretty good glimpse. So that's going to be really helpful today. And let's just try and dig up as much of those details as we can. So, how would you describe the face shape? Sort of wide, or skinny, or bony? And was there a lot of flesh in the face, or was it more sharp, bony? Yeah. So, how old would you say he looked? And what hairstyle are we looking at? Okay. So would it say above the eyebrows? A little below. Okay. So, would you say his hair was lying flat? Was it curly? Okay. Do you remember where the parting was? We're going to, since you saw him without the hat, as you've said, we're going to put two images, one with and one without. So we're going to do the without now. Okay, so can you describe the hair colour for me, please? How dark, specifically? And did it fall over his ears or his ears visible? Okay. Great. Something like that. Okay, great. Okay, so the eyebrows, can you describe them for me? Were they bushy? Were they thin? Were they sparse? Were they messy? Were they neat? Yeah. Was there an angle to them, or would you say they were pretty straight? How did they sit on his face? And how close together would you say that they came? Was there a large gap, small? Was there hair in between? Okay. Something like that? A bit closer. Okay. Better? Great. Okay. So let's talk about his eyes. How would you describe the shape? Are they rounded? Are they thin? Are they almond shaped? And then what kind of tilt? Alright. So, do you remember how his eyelids looked? Were they very heavy? Were they very lidded? Or was there not much space? So would you say they were coming down nearly to the lash line, his eyelids? So very hooded? Okay, great, that's good. Could you see his eyelashes? A little bit. And what about lower lashes? Great. Do you remember where in his eyes the iris sat? So, for example, could you see any white below it? Or were they very large? And what colour was his eye? Was it dark or light? Or somewhere in between? Okay. Does that look okay to you? Okay. A little closer together. No problem. You're doing wonderfully, by the way. I'm sure this must be a very unsettling experience for you, but you're doing really well. Okay, so let's talk about the nose. Would you say that the nose was long or short? Somewhere in the middle. Okay. And wide or thinner? Between the nostrils, that is. Yep. Can you remember anything about the shape of the nose? Sort of sloped? Okay. Pointy? The nose tip. Okay. Do you remember whether the nose tip was upturned or downturned or just straight on? Upturned. How much? How much nostril would you say you could see? Okay, great. Wow. Is that about right? Higher? Okay. Does that height look correct? That's better? Good. Remember, I will do this as many times as you need. There's no rush. You need to get it perfect. After all, we're here to help you. Okay. So, let's move on to his mouth. So, tell me all you can remember about it. Would you say that there was a large gap between nose and mouth, or small? Okay. And do you recall whether the Cupid's bow was quite wide, or thin, or somewhere in between? Yeah. Now, the philtrum, this area here, do you think it was deep? Was it very noticeable or more flattened? Okay. So you said a thin top lip. How thin? You can just show me with your fingers, that's okay. Okay. And the bottom lip was a bit thicker, you said? Can you recall the sort of shape? Was it particularly rounded or straight? And as for the shape of the mouth in general, do you remember there being a downturn, an upturn? The corners of the mouth, were they? Yes, okay, yeah, that's perfect. Alright. Can you show me how I'm going with that? Is that alright? Further down. Okay. So you think that should be more rounded? Does that look better? More still? Okay. And so was there a lot of shadow? Would you say the lips protruded out far? Okay, so relatively sort of plump. Yeah. Great. So I am going to go back and put some more detail into this once we're finished. I'm just wanting to get some of the initial proportions correct before I go too far into it. So, can you tell me about the shape of the jaw and the chin? So, a large chin, a small chin, pointy, squared. Didn't have that butt shape. Great. Sort of that wide, would you say? How about that? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, and then the shape of the jaw. Would you say it was wide or narrow? Okay, and then square, or did he have jowls? Slight, okay. Something like that? Great. Okay. And so the ears. Did you see the ears, first of all? You did. Good. A little bit. Well, anything is good. So, were they large, small? Okay. Do you remember sort of whether they stuck out or pretty flat to his head? Yeah? Earring. Okay, well that's good. That's going to be useful. Can you tell me about the earring? Just the one? Do you remember which ear? Okay, great. That's your left, right? Okay. Just a plain ring? Yeah, great. Alright, so do you remember anything about the neck? Would you say it was as wide as his head or narrower? Narrower, okay. How much narrower? Let me indicate to you and you tell me if I'm about right. Narrower than that? How about that? Yeah? Good, okay. So, I'm going to just do part of the shoulders and then stop there. So, you said that he was wearing a hoodie. Do you remember if the hood was particularly large or small? How did it sit on his shoulders? Right up around the neck. Okay. Like that? Okay. Okay. Well, that's as far down as I'll go. So, can you take a good look at this and let me know what changes need to be made to just the general proportions of the face and the shapes and all that? So, you think that needs to be a bit wider? Yeah, no problem. How about the cheekbones? I haven't done much here. Are they looking okay? Do you think he had fuller cheeks or more shadow? Yes, okay. How high would you say about here? Yeah. Okay. Do you think I've made the age look about right? A little older? Sure. Were there any wrinkles that you might remember? Something about the eyes? Sort of crow's feet? Or sunken? Yeah, okay. Well, let's do that. Does this look a bit better? Good, okay. So, now that I've got the sort of shape down, let me ask you about details. Do you remember there being any moles or freckles or anything on his face? Scars? Okay, so freckles, would you say just on the nose and cheeks or the whole face? Okay, so lightly around the face but heavily on the nose. Sure. Were they light coloured? Is that light enough, or were there more? Okay, but more dense around here. I see. Like this or more? More. Can you point out where exactly they were the heaviest? Okay. Right, so let's see. As for the hair, so the style you remember it being in, you said it was sort of swept over the forehead. and it reached just below the eyebrows. Okay. So you would say there's sort of a fringe going on. Yeah. Do you think that this is enough hair that I've got here? More on the sides, so further out? Yeah, okay. Would you describe it as shiny, or was it sort of dusty looking? Yeah, great. Did it look clean or dirty? Okay. So, can I just confirm with you now that he looks about the correct age? Okay. So, is the hair alright now? Wavier? Whereabouts? So, sort of curls or uniform waves, or sort of messy looking? Yeah, okay, yeah. Roughly that size? How's that? Great. Okay, so how's that for hair? Good. Okay. So are there any more details that I'm missing? Or anything that needs to be adjusted? It's no problem, I'm happy to go over it again. Yeah, okay. So, the face shape. So you said it needed to be sharper. So can you just describe what parts were sharp? The chin, the cheekbones, or sort of less flesh to the face? Okay, so do you think it needs to be slightly more hollowed out cheekbones? Yeah? Do you remember there being a curve sort of here? Do you think it's possible that the jaw is a little less wide? Let me show it to you and you can tell me if that looks closer. Something more like that? Yeah, okay, good. Seems more cohesive with the face. Just want to check. Sometimes it's hard to remember some of these details, but you're doing an amazing job. Okay. How would you describe the skin texture? So was it, all smooth and shiny, or maybe a little more porous? Okay. And whereabouts would you say? On the cheeks, okay. Any skin conditions, something like acne or... Yeah. Okay, alright, so where would you say? On the chin? Okay. Okay. Just the scarring, sort of, yeah. Okay. So, give me your notes. Darker. What colour were they? So sort of a dark brown, but darker than this. Okay. Does that look better? It does, okay. So, do the eyebrows need to be darker as well? Yeah. Just thinking they don't look quite in place with the hair, do they? Alright, does that one like it? Good, I'm glad. So, I think we have quite a comprehensive looking face here now. Are there any details you feel like I might have missed? Anything else you can remember that's not here? Okay. So you feel that that was a neutral expression and not just in the moment? Okay, good. So I can try and make him look a little more downturned like this. Is that better? The eyes too? Okay. So it wasn't that the eyes were downturned, it was the expression. Okay. I'll try and mimic that here. So would you say it was kind of squinty? Okay. Well, most of the work comes in from the eyebrows, so were they a little, like, was it wrinkled around the eyebrow area, or was that just how they sat? Yeah. Is that better? And what about the under eyelid? Do you remember that being prominent? Oh, good. Okay, so you're telling me this is looking good? Okay. Yeah? So, just to be clear, there was no facial hair at all? No. Sideburns? Well, that's good information to have. How far down would you say they came? Sort of centre of the ear? Yeah, okay, perfect. How long? Are we talking like Mr. Darcy Mutton Chop or faded? Okay. Something like that. Great. Okay. Well, take another good look and tell me if there's anything that you feel is off at all. No? Are you sure? Because it really is no problem if you want to even scrap the whole thing and start again. Okay, perfect. So, if you're completely happy with this, I'll get it printed off and sent out. Are you happy? You sure there's nothing left? Okay, great. So, we'll have everyone looking for him, don't you worry. We will find your stuff. So, thank you so much for coming in and cooperating with me. It took a lot of hard work, and I know that this must be very exhausting for you, so well done. You're really trooping on. But we will get this guy, don't worry. We're good at what we do. So, last chance. Definitely? Good. That's what I want to hear. Well, thank you so much for coming in. This is truly incredibly helpful, and you did an excellent job. So thank you for your attention to detail. And of course, if there are any updates, we'll be in contact with you. But it shouldn't be too long. Okay? Well, thank you so much. I hope that everything gets resolved for you quickly. I really do. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who supports me over on Patreon. It really is such an enormous help, and I really appreciate all of you. Especially my mid-REM cycle tier patrons. Alexander, Bastian, Kosikas, Hideta, Johnny Begood, Luigi Rinaldi, Maxi Snacks, Michael, Shane, and Theo. Thank you, all of you, for all of the help that you give me. It doesn't go unnoticed. I'm very grateful. And I hope that all of you have the most wonderful night's sleep tonight. Bye-bye.